In this video, I'm going to show you how to create this part. It's part of the Button Maker project. The part is number 38, upper die outer ring. I'm going to create a new part. And a new sketch on the XY axis. I'm going to start out by drawing these 5 concentric circles. Hit the green check. Going to extrude. I'm going to extrude in the reverse direction. And the depth is going to be this dimension here, 0.750. And the profile is going to be include all but the center one. We'll leave the center empty. Hit OK. I'm going to go to this icon here and select the sketch, right mouse button, and make it visible. I'm going to extrude one more time. I'm going to select just this outer profile. I'm going to go in the reverse direction. I'm going to remove material, and I'm going to go in a depth here, this 0.178. I'm going to extrude again, and I'm going to choose this circle here. I'm going in the reverse direction. I'm going to remove material, and I'm going to go in this dimension here, 0.616. Go to this sketch and turn the visibility off. Come up to View, Visual Style, and turn on Shaded with Edges. I'm going to turn the part around and create a sketch. Go back to 3D modeling and create a sketch on this face. I'm going to put a point here where this hole is located. I'm going to turn construction on, and draw a circle. At the origin, make sure you're at the origin, 0, 0. And I'm going to go out the diameter of 2.625. Enter. Turn construction off. You notice that the hole is actually located on this line here, this 2.265. That's where I got that number from. So I'm going to put a point down at the intersection of, I'm going to zoom in and make sure that I'm on the line and the x dimension is 0. Put down my point. I'm going to add 2 more points. You notice that there's 3 holes altogether, and they're spaced out 120 degrees apart. So I'm going to I'm going to create a circular pattern. I'm going to select that geometry, and the center is going to be here, and there's going to be a total of 3 points. Hit OK. You Notice now I have my 3 points, and they're all in the circular pattern. I'm going to hit the green check. So I'm going to choose my hole tool. And you notice that it shows all 3 holes. So it's a plane hole. The distance, the depth of the hole is 0.410. I got that from here. And the diameter is 1/4 inch. Hit OK. And there are the 3 holes. Turn the part around, go to my front view. So I'm going to extrude this part here, this peg here, and to do that I need to create a work plane that's running at approximately this angle. It's 10 degrees. So it'll run through the origin. I'm going to create a plane that runs through the origin at a 10-degree angle here. Notice if I create a work plane that's at a 10-degree angle here, it'll be perpendicular to this line that's 10 degrees off of straight up. So I'm going to create a work plane, and I'm going to select angle to plane around edge, and the edge I'm going to choose is going to be this this z-axis. So I'm going to choose the z-axis, and the plane I'm going to choose is this one here, this XZ plane. And when I do, it's going to ask me for an angle, and I'm going to put in 10 degrees. And the 10 degrees is from this here. Hit check. And you notice now I have a plane, a work plane. It's at a 10-degree angle from horizontal, and if I extrude straight out, it'll be 10 degrees from vertical. But I don't want to extrude here. I want to extrude up on this surface here. So I'm going to choose work plane again, and then I'm going to choose tangent to surface and parallel to plane. So I'm going to choose this work plane here, the one I just created, and I'm going to choose this surface. And now there's my work plane, the work plane that I'm going to use to extrude this point. So I'm going to create a sketch on that work plane. Right click on the work plane, hit New Sketch. And now I'm constructing a geometry on that surface, and I'm going to extrude out. So I'm going to draw a line. I'm going to turn on construction geometry, and then draw a line. And I'm going to add a dimension later, but I'm just going to draw it across here. I'm going to put down a dimension from that edge to this line. And that dimension is 0.464. And that the dimension is right here. And so you see this pin is, the center of the pin is located 0.464 from this surface here. And I'm going to add a whole circle, and the diameter is going to be 0.156. And I forgot to turn off construction geometry. That's okay. I'm going to go ahead and turn off construction geometry. But I'm going to hit Escape, point to the geometry, right-click, and I could turn construction off. And now it is no longer a construction circle. So that's one way of toggling construction for geometry on and off. So I'm going to hit the green check, And so I'm going to extrude. I'm going to go out, but I have to go in both directions because this plane is tangent to the surface and it's actually touching the, the part at only one location, and so I need to go in both directions. So I'm going to choose this icon here, and the distance I'm going out in the main direction, going straight out, is 0.547 here. And in the other direction, I'm just going to go a very small distance, call it 0.1 or 0.01 really. Hit OK. And there's my peg. I'm going to turn off these work planes. Go back to my front view and notice that I have the peg sticking out of the part coming out at 10 degrees. So I'm going to go ahead and create my other peg here. It's at a different angle. It's coming out at 23 degrees. So I'm going to go to work plane again, and once again I'm going to create a work plane, angle to plane around edge. And the plane I'm going to make it create is that's going to be it's going to be based on the XZ plane. Choose that, and then it's going to be at an angle around the Z-axis. Now it's asking me for the degrees, and I'm going to type in minus 23 degrees. Okay, and so you see I typed in minus 23 degrees because I'm on the other side of the circle, and so you see with this, if I extrude from this plane straight out, it'll come out 23 degrees in this direction. But I don't want to extrude using this work plane. I want a work plane that's on this surface. So I'm going to go back, just as I did last time. I'm going to choose tangent to surface and parallel to plane. So it's going to be parallel to this plane and tangent to this surface. And there's my work plane. And I'm going to do the same. I'm going to create a sketch on this work plane. I'm going to create another construction line. Create a dimension. Zoom in, I'm going to choose this edge. Choose that line. And the dimension is 0.454. You notice this dimension from this surface here to the center of the pin is 0.454. I'm going to create a circle, turn construction geometry off, create a circle at 0 and the intersection of 0 and the line you just created, and the diameter is 0.156. You notice I got that from here, this dimension here, 0.156, and hit check. I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to extrude out, going in both directions, and I'm going to go out a distance of 0.547 in one direction, and then in the other direction towards the center of the part. I'm just going to go out 0.01, very small distance, and hit OK. And there are my 2 points. I'm going to turn these two work planes, my 2 pegs. I'm going to turn these 2 work planes off. I'm going to add a radius. You notice that there's a radius of 0.078. And there's my part. I'm done. I'm going to go ahead and come up to this icon, right mouse click, choose iProperties, go to Physical, and set the material to steel. Hit OK. I'm going to save the file with the file name 38 upper die outer ring.